taken an astronomy class or watched Carl Sagan videos during an existential crisis, you know it is crazy that humanity even exists in this chaotic universe. To those of you who believe that we are not so impossible, and that there can be hundreds of other intelligent civilizations, I commend you for your open minds. To those of you who believe we should be nearly impossible, and that said other intelligent civilizations have no idea that we're here on Earth, I applaud you for your skepticism. To those of you who pay no mind to whether or not we are being visited by extraterrestrials, I implore you, open your hearts to the evidence accessible by you right now to realize that the governments of Earth are hiding some very interesting truths that can answer the looming question we all ask in our lives. Are we alone in the universe? There are former government officials whistleblowing so that you may know the answer to this question. Listen to them. There are countless online resources for you to explore and decide for yourself what you believe. Access them. If there are much more important things to you than answering the all-pressing question, at least do your best to gaze into the stars whenever you can. The answer is sometimes hidden in them as a UFO. When you decide what you believe about the extraterrestrial hypothesis, you will have gained incredible insight into your own belief system and how the truth influences it. When you become aware of the big names attached to the big claims that extraterrestrials are visiting Earth, you are more well-equipped than most Earthlings to understand the government's moments of intense secrecy and suppression of the people. Having a great knowledge base about UFOs can really help you gain some perspective on the universe you're a part of. You will see how inconsequential and frankly stupid a lot of the issues facing our planet really are. Your attention is directed toward more pressing issues of our long-term survival as a species. I've been interested in ET since I was 16, attending UFO conferences, volunteering as staff at them, and having the amazing opportunity to occasionally co-host a web show dedicated to the topic. After getting the opportunity to meet some extremely credible men and women who, at these conferences, testify that extraterrestrials are visiting Earth, I realized that a majority of society doesn't have any clue about the extreme credibility given to this topic after years of it being downplayed by humor. The research behind this is extensive, backed up by thousands of witnesses and experiencers whose priority is to disclose accurate information to the public. There is much more to the UFO phenomenon than was ever thought. This has become exceedingly clear in all the credible individuals stepping forward, even when doing so could be the last thing they ever do. And convincing you to dive deeper and become interested in this is what I am choosing to do as a believer and as a concerned citizen of Earth. The key to unlocking the mystery is to follow those who were once kept locked up, the whistleblowers, the courageous Paul Hellyer here, the former Minister of Defense for Canada, has been an extremely influential figure for me. After personally meeting him and discussing how extraterrestrials relate to our planet Earth, I found him to be one of the most sincere men in existence. And Paul Hellyer has come out to the public claiming that he has knowledge that the governments of the world are dealing with and containing in secrecy an extraterrestrial presence here on Earth. And I quote him, "Decades ago, visitors from other planets warned us about where we were headed and offered to help." End quote. I'm asking you to conceptualize why a man of his stature would say something like that, unless there was a pressing truth behind it. I'm asking you to think about why it's important to be interested in all of this. Paul Hellyer is telling us that our planet is in trouble, and there have been visitors attempting to guide us in the direction toward recovery. Where did these claims come from? In exploring these claims, we have a lot to learn about how we treat our planet. If he's not a big enough whistleblower for you, try your mind at over 500 government, military, and intelligence community witnesses joining together to testify to their own experiences with UFOs and visiting extraterrestrials. Let that sink in. Over 500 men and women putting their professions and their social credibility on the line for your sake, so that you may be aware that big names in the government are claiming that we are in the possession of extraterrestrial technology and free energy. Raise your hand if you even knew this project existed. All of these testimonies are available to you at thedisclosureproject.org, and it's been suppressed for good reasons. Wendell Stevens. He was one of the world's greatest UFO researchers among many, on top of having served in the U.S. Army and Air Corps in World War II. While he was on board B-29s during a classified project, his equipment detected UFOs. From there, you can only imagine the findings. He is only one of the many men who have dedicated their lives to finding the truth after having been given glimpses of what lies behind the veil of secrecy. These glimpses must have been something utterly astounding for an Earthling, something not of this world, for men like Wendell to have put up with the ridicule during their countless hours of UFO research. Open Minds TV is in possession of an archive of Stevens' research. The photos in the archive are available to you at openmindstv.com. You just have to know where to look. There's tons of resources online. The UFO phenomenon isn't all hoaxes and tinfoil. I think we can all agree that taking this topic seriously can reveal many thought-provoking theories. The fact that men and women are stepping into the spotlight to tell us what they know, prepared to face whatever ridicule or discredit that comes hurling at them, is an intense testimony to why this topic should be taken seriously. For instance, Nick Pope, member of the British government. He's outside telling everybody what he thinks is going on, and that has something to be said there. And if you're listening to me with ears that have heard the testimonies from themselves and you have been convinced that looking into the phenomenon is worth your time, remember to value the importance of sharing what you know and opening other minds to all of this. If you're listening to me with, doubt, and doubt is just filling your mind, it's important to analyze your doubt as whether the secret keepers and sturdy veil have made you believe this way, or if you've even let yourself deeply consider the topic as possible truth. If you have muddled thoughts, don't think so heavily at first. Start small. Start by asking, are we alone? And explore at your own comfort level from there. Finding the truth means exercising your freedom to pursue it and decide for yourself. Knowing that something is going on, I think we can all agree that something is going on, makes you more aware than the masses of people willing to play along with everything the government is telling them, leaving very little room for question raising. The benefit I love about being a believer, you'll become more excited about loving your neighbor. We're all in this together, Earthlings. Heed the claims made by credible and brave individuals. It is a big fear of mine that the extraterrestrial hypothesis will be deemed outrageous and irrelevant. When you look into it, I think you'll share my fear. The internet is one of the most powerful resources. Use it. Question what you're told is not real. It's the only way to find answers and truth. I admire the men and women who have come forth with their experiences and their research. I know some of them. It's obvious that our planet is in trouble. And I see how the masses don't take the ET hypothesis seriously, and I see how it buries it deep where no one could possibly uncover it. The consequences of this are ignorance and further self-destruction. I know that uncovering the truth can open so many doors for humanity. It can ease the fear of so many that we are alone. It can open up the possibility for free space travel, mass space travel, free energy, and a way of life that nurtures Earth instead of violates it. This is what nearly all of the whistleblowers are saying. You ask me, why should I be interested in this? And I'm telling you, after filling your minds with question is, being interested means being involved in your planet's well-being, your society's open-mindedness, and your own quest for meaning. Thank you.
7:48.
Questions for her, please?
What do you think about the Phoenix Lights?
The